Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from slimandstylish.stampinup.net, and I'm back with another Mother's Day card. This is my second Mother's Day card of the week and I thoroughly enjoyed making this one. I'm using the framed florets, which I love. I think this is a really gorgeous set and just you can do so much things with it. I used it on a card the other week and I did it as a black and white card, and I did a circle in the middle and I did a wreath around it, all in grey tones, and I loved it. But I did say at the time, I wonder what this would look like with colour. Well, we're going to be playing with the colour today. So what I've got on my desk is a 10.5 by 14.8 centimetre card base, and the other day I used a layering circles dies to cut myself a die cut circle out the middle. Well, today I'm going to be using our new circle punches. That's right, we've got the circle punches back. This is the 2-inch circle punch. We've got the 1 3/4 inch circle punch and the 2-inch circle punch available on my site. So they're not in the catalogue. We have a new online exclusive range, which is going to be great. We're going to have products added onto the website, periods, that are going to be online exclusives. When they're gone though. So if you missed our circle punches when they were in the catalogues, they're back. I've got a 2-inch one and a 1 3/4 one. And while I love the layering dies and think they're brilliant, these are just so much quicker and easier to use. I am really chuffed about it. Get them now. slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Add them to your basket and don't forget to use my host code to get a special gift as a thank you. So these are the stamps I'm going to be using. What I've done is I've took my die cut piece out, my punched piece, and I've just drawn a faint line around it in pencil. Very faint because I don't want it to show through afterwards. And now I'm going to be stamping around that line with the images from the set. So I'm going to be creating my wreath and stamp it out. So I've done this big one at 2 different sections, and I'm now using the slightly larger of the single flowers just to go around where the circle is, and then I'm going to come in with a slightly smaller one in there as well. And then there's a separate standalone leaf, so I'm going to be using that to build up and out. So I'm going to use that 4 times around the card. Now you can keep going as much as you like. What's great about this set is you can build a scene that you like and you can play with it as much as you want. And it all looks like it feeds on together. So that looks like it's one stamped image, which just makes me really happy. So for the actual punched out piece, I'm going to use this Wishes for a Beautiful Birthday stamp set, but obviously it's Mother's Day, so I've got a Happy Mother's Day sentiment there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stamp, but I don't want birthday to show. I want Wishes for a Beautiful, but I want to cut out birthday. So what I'm going to do is I'm working out my grid paper where birthday was, and I'm going to stick myself a post-it note over that section. And then I'm going to stamp my image and stamp it down. Birthday will hit the post-it note and the rest of it will hit the circle, and there we go. Wishes for a Beautiful and birthday is gone. I can then come in with my Happy Mother's Day. I don't want to use the happy, so I'm just going to take it off the actual ink. So you can see I'm just putting Mother's Day and there's no ink on happy, and then I'm stamping that down. And that's how I've combined the 2 sentiments together to create this sentiment, which is just going to go in the middle there. Now, when I did this card in grayscales the other week, I did it portrait. I've decided I want to do this one landscape just for a bit of a change. I was quite liking it landscape. So for colouring it in, I'm using light and dark old olive, and I'm being very lazy with my colouring. While I'm colouring every part on it quite fully, and I'm going to do it well, I'm not going to be colouring any of the parts that fall in the pencil circle. So there's no point, no one's going to see it because my sentiment's going over the top of it. But if I'm using bright colours, it will show through under my sentiment, which I definitely don't want. So all I'm going to do is colour in the sections of the card that is going to be visible around the sentiment. So my light and dark old olive are going onto the leaves, and I'm just going to play around with a light on top of where I put a few specks of the dark, just so I can get some really good blending going on there. This set is lovely, but I don't think it's a set that you can do messy blending on. So my other Mother's Day card I did the other day, loved that one, by the way. That was in the shape of an M. I did some messy blending on there. I didn't go all the way to the edges of the images, and it looked great and washed out and watercolored type effect, which I loved. On this one, because it's quite a precise stamp set, I'm not as keen doing that, so I definitely wanted a clear and clean colouring going on with this one. So this card actually isn't for me to use for Mother's Day. I've actually done 2 of these cards. I've done one in an orangey colour, which is in this video, and I've also done a yellow and blue one, which was using So Saffron and Pool Party, and there's a picture of it at the end of this video so you can see it. Now, these cards are going to, firstly, my brother, so he can give one to my mum. He's took the blue and So Saffron one. And then this one here, which is going to be sort of a Calypso coral colour and a deeper sort of coral sort of peach colour, that's going to my partner's mum for her Mother's Day. And the M that I did that's on my channel, which I just love, I think it's one of the most original Mother's Day cards I've done, that's going to my mum from me. So I'm using dark sweet sorbet for the berries. They're not very obvious that they're there, but I'm getting them. And I use light soft succulent for the very thin wispy type leaves that are with the berries. And now I'm using dark crumb cake on the centre of the flowers, and I'm going to do the outside of the flowers in light and dark Calypso coral. So you can see the end of the leaves on the inner circle that I've missed, okay? So it looks like they've got a white tip. That's the bit that falls inside the pencil mark. I know it's quite hard now I've stamped over it for you to see where the pencil mark was, but that's the bit where that falls. So I know there's no point colouring it because no one's going to see it. So for the dark Calypso coral, I'm going around the inside and I'm also going around the edges. Stampin' Up have made this really easy for you. They've put some shaded parts that you can actually just see on the edges, and all I'm doing is covering those with the dark Calypso coral, so my shading's in the right place. I did the bigger images first, the one on the right and the one on the left, because I was going to do the other flowers in a different colour, so that's why I didn't do them all in one go. But once I'd done these and saw how beautiful and lovely they were, I decided I was going to do all of the flowers in the same colour. Now, I love doing them Calypso coral, so my partner's mum, she's not a pink girl, you know. My mum's card that I did on the M, it was all baby pinks and purples, and it looked really cute, but it was really girly. And I don't think that my partner's mum is a pink girl. So I did this in Calypso coral, and I quite liked it. It was more autumnal colours, a bit deeper, and I just thought they suited it really, really well. I wasn't expecting to like it as much, so that's why I thought I would do the other flowers in different colours, but I fell in love with it, thought they were lovely, wondered why I don't do more flowers in Calypso coral, so started adding the ink to the other flowers and colouring those in as well. And you can see from the shading that all of these flowers aren't going to be coloured in. I'm just going to be doing the bits that fall over the pencil mark. And by the time I finish colouring, you'll be able to see the pencil mark because there'll be a very clear sort of line as to where it fits, which will then make it really easy when I come to put my sentiment on. As I'd done this in quite deep colours, I thought to myself I need some trim. I was going to use my silver trim, which I love, which is the elegant trim. And it's a bit thicker than your normal sort of twine. However, because of the colour schemes, I decided to go with gold. So I've popped them up on dimensionals, ready to go, but haven't stuck down yet because I've got my twine to put on. And I'm going to be using the gold one, as I said. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to actually create some loops around my hand. So I don't actually have much of the gold left. So I decided to make slightly bigger loops than I would normally make. So you can see here I've decided actually you're just going to leave a little bit on the spool. What's the point of that? Create some rather bigger loops. I'm going a bit further down my hand and I'm going loose. And normally I'd do 4 loops, but for this one I did 6. And it used up, you can see there, it used up all of my bit on the reel. There is nothing worse than just having a teeny tiny little bit left that you can't work out what to do with. So I'm going to add a load of adhesive in the centre of this circle here. Okay, this is just tape adhesive. And I'm just going to stick that down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed the areas around to where I want them. So I've got 3 loops at the top and 3 loops at the bottom, and then I'm just going to pull 1 loop to the side at the top and 1 loop to the other side at the top, and then mirror it down the bottom. It doesn't have to be a work of art. Keep putting the adhesive on, but keep it within the circle. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just gives the twine a little bit of a guide as to where it should be. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your sentiment, take your backing off, stick it down, and it's going to help keep that twine in the right place, okay? So it'll look beautiful and nice, but it will also just add a little bit of an element around the card. When you're happy that you've got your sentiment in the right place, stick it down tough, and there you go. So I'm now going to stick this to my card base, and I'm going to add some embellishments onto it. For the embellishments, we've got the adhesive back sequins. Love these, and I'm using them in the gold colour that matches the twine. It's just so simple and easy to put them on the card, and I'm mirror imaging them and putting 6 on 3 either side. And that is pretty much the card front finished. So it's just adhering it to a card base. I've already got some cut and scored, so I'm just going to burnish it and add it on the front. What do you think? I think it's beautiful, this one. I really do like it. The Calypso Coral colour of the flowers, I just haven't used Calypso Coral for ages. And I know I used to like it, but you know when you get out of a rut of not using a colour? Well, I'm really glad that I got this colour back out and started playing with it. And I think you might see it a few more times on my videos because I was thoroughly enjoying it and mixing it with a soft succulent and the old olive. Let me know what you think of the card below. Let me know which one of the two is your favourite colours. If you're new, please do subscribe and come back for more videos. See you all soon. Bye.